Right here at an undisclosed location. Could be a truck stop, could be a glorified gas station. Today we are going to learn the importance of pre-trips. And I've noticed that my mileage has went from 16 to about 12 miles per gallon. And I thought, well, maybe just my foot is getting heavier, or there's been a lot of city driving, you know, stop, go. But no, my turbo does not have a clamp on the exhaust port, so this is going to variously affect the dynamic of the engine. This is a new one I put on there. This is one of the part of the reason that I got a discount on the vehicle, and I paid $4,000 instead of the $6,000 he said at the door. And on the internet, on eBay, he was asking $8,000 for this vehicle. This is the original one that fell off. As you can see, the bolt broke there, or stud, or whatever you want to call that. And I found that right next to this one, where this one slid down to. So this one didn't break, but the nut backed off on it. So that's the importance of a pre-trip. That probably cost me, over the course of 2 tanks of fuel, or the 3 tanks of fuel I've used since I've been here in the last month. 6 miles per gallon times, 4 miles per gallon times 40 times 3. So it's 4 times 3 is 12. Times 40 is 480 miles. That cost me almost a whole tank of fuel. Right there. So I'm going to go down here. These kind people in here told me that there is for historical precedence, there is a spike in fuel lately due to the Iran deal. Fuel is on its way back down. That's funny how it just catches the phases of that. Anyways, minor distraction aside, yeah, I've got to go get a nut for this. I've got to get a nut for that, so I can resume my very good turbo diesel fuel economy. And that was kind of funny that I didn't see that in there. I thought I inspected this vehicle when I bought it. That is the old unit. It's really not bad, except for this part right here, which obviously was inserted at the time of manufacture with that little weld right there. If I had better facilities, I would just go out and had I discovered this at the time, I would just went out, and it should be that things are made so that half-cent part does not make this rest of this part however much value it might have. I would assign $5 of value to it, being as made by a machine. And then the person who put the parts material into the machine probably earned 60 cents in the time he did that, in the 1 minute, which would mean that that person was compensated a rate of $36 an hour. This part cost $20 brand new, which is this part right here, which I've only had on this truck for 2 months. Small amount of soot. Other than that, it's in great condition. I'm glad it stayed slid on there, being the round circular device it is, and did not expand too much as to fall off of the cylindrical part it was attached to. Yeah, and if you're watching this video, you know who you are, and thank you for getting that tire fixed. I'm glad you got your tire fixed. And I'm not trying to call you out. That's not why I'm not saying any names, but you know who you are. I can tell that you really don't do pre-trips as often as you should have. Why? Because it takes thousands of miles for that tire to get in the state of condition it was in. Again, not trying to call you out, just saying out of love and care. Because I care for you as a human being and I want you to live. So please start doing your pre-trips far more often. I'm not being judgmental. I'm saying this out of love and affection so that you don't die. And remember, at Schneider, okay, so I'm narrowing it down to 14,000 different people. At Schneider, you don't need permission to go get a tire at any tire bank at any time, and your DBL does not even know that it happened. Nobody gets told anything about you having gone through, if you go through 30 sets of tires a year, complete sets of tire, nobody says a word about it. What a fine threads on the end of that thing. Yeah, that thing's still good. But anyhow, I do digress. Let's check out the wiener dog. The fine bump on that female. I can see how she earned her way into that bus. Ha 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 ha. So, it's kind of funny. They have a truck here, but no garage. And somehow the guy says that he doesn't have any nuts or bolts, or nuts or screws, or I guess it would just be a nut, would be the appropriate fastener. So that's a 1-800 number. It does not indicate my location. Nor does that. But I tell you what, I'm pretty close to where James Best lives at. About 20 miles away. He would probably know exactly where this is at, because I bet he stops by here quite often. How you doing, James? If you're watching this, see if you can tell me where this is at. So, I do digress. Oh, revelation. I got an inverter for this truck. It is hooked up, and I am waiting for an opportunity to find someone who can drill a hole underneath. What's up, Professor? Someone who can drill a hole in that vertical plane right there underneath the step, and then the other side there, just underneath that boot. And I want to put some type of grommets or rubber bushings on the edges of the holes, and then that will come up there, and then I will have that inverter located somewhere here. I might be mounted on the wall right there on the other side of the seat. And then I've got my grill for cooking. This is the best thing ever made. It's a griddle, not a grill, for cooking breakfast and bacon at the same time. I want to get a piece of flat metal, a bacon flattener, and then I'm going to put my microwave right next to it. Actually, I think I'm going to move it over here. I think I'm going to have everything up for cooking on this side over here. Well, no real serious facts. Yeah, all the cooking stuff is going to go over here, and then I'm going to get a 20-gallon water jug and put that up there, maybe where that blue thing is over there, just past the white piece of foam. And then I have a sink unit from my house that I can put where that blue bag is right there, and then I'll have facilities to wash dishes, and I'll get a tankless propane hot water heater and put it somewhere in there in that mix, and then I'll have a waste tank right there by the spare tire. Okay, so setbacks, Minor setbacks, mainly just weather. I lost a whole day of work Sunday, yesterday, which was typically on a day like that would probably do $275. But I made $500 over the course of the week, even with the horrible weather we've been having here. Had some misty rain on Thursday that put me back. Wednesday I had a time issue and other things stepping away, and I was doing a pre-trip today, and I found this. My turbo exhaust clamp has been costing me about 4 miles per gallon. So I went down from 16 to 12 miles per gallon, sometimes 10 miles per gallon. That's a pretty serious offense towards my economy. So I'm going to go down the road here and just get the little nut. The nut backed off the end of there. There's nothing wrong with this. But while I was down there, I found this. This is the previous one. I'm just recapping for the professor because he's watching live. You can see where it broke right there. That was one of the things that helped me get $2,000 off of this truck. So thank God this one did not break as the previous one did. But I think this one was probably the original one from 1999. And I've made progress. I've cleaned. This whole area was full of refuse. That is not good for stealth camping. It doesn't look like a work van then. It looks like a trash heap. So yeah. I figured that has cost me about, let's see, what was the math on that? 120. So yeah, that's actually cost me 120 divided by 16. I don't know what that is. Roughly about a tank of fuel. Which is, at this rate, well, it was $3 then, so that's $120. $120 I could have used to feed myself all week with. Or pay my storage bill. Or, you know, various other things. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where it's at. And, like, Saturday I missed half the day because of rain. Whereas I could have made, like, a $600 or $800 day on that particular day because of the volume. I could tell that the mass of people coming by and the hourly rate I was making, I could have probably made close to $800 that day. And I know because of historical precedents what I've made in that time before. And but I still pulled off $325, I believe I remember, that day. And I did, yeah. So, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, you can't control these factors, and you just got to roll with the punches. So, all I know right now is I have enough to pay my insurance for this vehicle, which is $40 a month. 38, who's splitting hairs. I have a gallon of oil, which will cover me for the next 2,000 miles. That's actually half a gallon now. I'm burning rate of about, let me see if I remember right. I put 2,000 miles on it. No, 3 plus the trip to getting there. 3,500 miles, and I put 2 quarts of oil in it. So for a vehicle with $452,169.6, I think that's a fair trade-off. I've already looked into a rebuild kit for this motor. And a rebuild kit for this engine is approximately $1,800. That includes pistons, rings. There's people watching here. Pistons, rings, high pressure oil pump, connecting rods, bottom end bearings, wrist bearings, valve guide seals. I forget what else. Pretty much everything. And I figure if I get me a safe place to park and dedicate 10 days to it, and then rent me a pickup truck for 10 days so that I can have a vehicle to run parts back and forth to the machine shop. I can take the cylinder sleeves out and take those to the machine shop, have them, well, fuck it, I might as well just take the whole, no. Well, I guess at that point I would have to see how flat my cylinder heads are and how flat the top of the engine block is, and hopefully that time I wouldn't have to do any machine work on that. But this engine bay is pretty simple and everything's out in the open. I think I could get this engine out of here in less than a day and a half. If I only had hand tools to work with, 3 days. But I have an 80-gallon dual stage industrial quality compressor at storage in North Carolina for doing exactly this kind of thing. It's the thing that my diesel mechanic has in his garage. I have high-speed air impact driver, both the gun and the ratchet, so I'm good there. I have almost all the impact drivers. The only thing I would be lacking as far as that would be a certified flat piece of steel to check the head surfaces with, which I don't think is more than $30 or $40, and then I would have that in my toolbox. I'm going to buy a toolbox to keep in here too, something flat on the ground. Probably preferably towards the front. And I'll probably keep my air compressor in here full time too, once I get things together in this ice cream truck. And then also a small generator to power the electrics and the compressor for whenever I might need to work on this vehicle on the road. I'll have everything I need, being a full, pretty much, you know, to fix almost anything, including the transmission. And I did have one of these before that I pulled the transmission out on the side of the road, rebuilt it in the back of the truck, and then put it back inside of the truck in less than 3 hours. That's okay, man. You can just catch me in the I'm gonna post this. I've been just jammering my jaw here. I've actually got to get off here and make some phone calls to some festivals and see if I can get some big dates here pretty soon. I need some. I need me some Denver type money. I need to make me like $5,000 in a weekend just to really feel a lot more secure about my situation. But anyhow, I do digress. Whatever you missed on here, I'm going to post this here in a minute. I've been here for almost 20 minutes. I really need to get started. I slept in like crazy today. I was up at 8:30, and then I'm like, oh, fuck it. I don't have anything really to do today. But that was my... Nice. What was his name? I might know him. I've actually twisted balloons there before. So yeah, my sleep body said, go back to sleep. And then my rational body said later on, oh, you got to make some phone calls. And plus, I don't need to sleep in past 12:30 again. I mean, I did sleep until 12:30. So my body was telling me to need a rest. I've been doing a lot of work and working out lately. After 2 years of sedentary action, I think that that's pretty fair considering that I've actually been doing a lot of work lately and doing a lot more active things. Oh, okay. I'll look him up. He doesn't look like, that doesn't look like a name I recognize. Did you get a balloon from him? Oh, I've got another viewer on here. Hello. Uh-oh. From 2 to 0? What the hey? Okay, I guess that's my sign. Goodbye. Thank you for viewing. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Nice, man. Nice. I got $6 tips, six $20 tips on Saturday. Anyways, I gotta get off here. Like, subscribe, comment. Like, subscribe, comment. You got the octopus. Yeah, that's a good one. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up.